Autumn was part of okay. Autumn was part of the reading room that is funded by the Jason Taylor Foundation and hosted, facilitated by the Jason Taylor Foundation and our educational director, I believe that's his title, Kevin Sawyer. We know him affectionately as Pops. But Autumn was part of the program in 8th grade. They had a Black History Month assignment because if anyone has ever met Kevin Sawyer, you know that he takes Black history very seriously. That's his thing. And so they did something, and Autumn wrote a poem. And from that point on, they realized this is very special, and we should provide a creative outlet for the students, not just something that is strictly educational and, grammatical and punctual and all of that, like, refined, just somewhere where they can kind of lean into themselves and tell their own stories in their own creative ways. So Autumn wrote a poem. With that being said, we still understand that there has to be an educational element, or that there is an educational element of this programming, and that we want to kind of make sure that we have something on record. So we do have a curriculum that aligns with the Florida teaching standards. If you want to start a poetry club on your campus, whether that be high school, middle school, we don't, you know, think that poetry clubs are happening in elementary school, but we offer programmings for that level as well. But if you want to start a club on your campus in high school and middle school, we definitely have curriculum for those of you who are like, this may be dope. This is something that I want to get into, but I don't know where to start. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to facilitate a workshop. We have a myriad of lesson plans. We give you the poem, the content, what the objective is, what they're talking about, questions to ask, strategies, activities, etc., etc. We kind of hold your hand through the process. If you already, as educators, many of you already know how to develop your own curriculum. So you definitely know that you can play around. You don't have to keep this poem. If you have another poem that you feel is better suited for the lesson plan, you're more than welcome to do it. You all know your campus and school culture more than we do. Some of the content that we have in the curriculum might not make sense for your campus. We had a club at St. Thomas and love St. Thomas, but they also have a religious element. So there were certain things they couldn't say or do in that club, or if they did say or do it in that club, it had to stay within those walls. We definitely encourage safe space building on campus in addition to having this curriculum. So whatever, you're allowed to play with this, all in all, is the end game. But this curriculum does align with Florida teaching standards. In addition to us providing a curriculum, we have a partnership with the Department of Equity and Diversity that allows us to have the resources to provide a teaching artist to every school in Broward County. So if you do decide to start a poetry club, or tell someone to start a poetry club, we'll offer a teaching artist who is essentially a spoken word artist who is active or has been active in some capacity, performs, writes, um, and does this probably more often than the educator in the space. And they'll come in for a 20-week residency and meet with your students once a week, um, weekly, and go through that curriculum or give their own writing workshops, give feedback, and kind of be your liaison, between us and you and your club. We offer open mic opportunities to the students. Right now, we have the voice box that is in circulation and the lyrical lounge. The voice box is in partnership with Art Serve in Fort Lauderdale. We wanted something a little bit east, for the high schools in that area. And then we also have the lyrical lounge, which is west at the Sunrise Civic Center, in partnership with the city of Sunrise. Right now, everything has been virtual. So when I provide our contact information at the end, you can get more details on how to get your students engaged at the top of next year, or if you're working in a summer school capacity, or if you just have a group chat or have a way to contact the students, you can share this information with them. The voice box is held at the last Friday of every month, and the lyrical lounge is held bi-monthly. It's a funky schedule, but again, once I provide our information at the end, there'll be contact information on how to reach out and get more details about that. The open mic allows for them to come share their work, essentially, right? It is what it is, an open mic. But we find that in doing that, it allows them to feel like they have a space of their own. The students, are encouraged to host the open mics. They're encouraged to run the sign-in sheet. We develop that kind of culture and community we think that not only does that help them come out of their shell as artists, but as people and leaders, and this is their beginning steps to activism in the community. So open mics are definitely dope and awesome. Our culmination or our Super Bowl of our program is LTAB FLA, which is Louder Than a Bomb Florida. It's an extension of the competition in Chicago. It empowers youth by allowing them to tell their stories, not only to their peers, but to community stakeholders and their family. Who are community stakeholders? Lawmakers, educators, just people with resources and funds, and sometimes celebrities, football players, just anyone that we know is in position to affect change the way these students would like. We try to get them to sit in front of these students and just hear what's happening with the youth and what the youth are thinking as they are our future, right? Something that I failed to share in the last session that I'll share with you all is I am a student of the program, and now I run the program. And so I am proof that this this works, right? There's an effective change happening here. But Louder Than a Bomb, the Super Bowl of poetry, all the schools come together, they compete against each other. There's a champion, we give them a prize, and then we do it all again next year. But um, this is not the program. This is a part of the program. The programming is the year-long meeting with your students and providing all of the curriculum and open mics. And we have youth poet laureate competition where they're able to get their own chapbooks published if they win the competition, and then we send that student out on tour. It's just been really dope to kind of see the little things that are or seem small to us that are really big to these students as they are aiming and hoping to share their voice and their story. So Louder Than a Bomb. Part of Louder Than a Bomb is the Dynamite Slam for the middle school poets. This is more uh, this is a friendlier version of the competition. We try not to make the competition as competitive as it gets in the high school space, but it happens. So the Dynamite Slam is an opportunity for the middle school poets to compete. If their sponsors feel as though they are skilled enough and ready enough, middle school students can be registered for the high school slam, but we do have the Dynamite Slam as an element. And then we have our Firecracker Slam, which is an elementary level showcase where we hold the opportunity for, of course, kindergarten and fifth grade to share their poetry. Um, Poetry and Leadership Conference is a conference for the young students, and the topics range anywhere from how to brand yourself as an artist to how to write an award-winning poem. The workshops are taught by teaching artists from our program and other professional arts leaders. We try to have also a mental health workshop, as we know that throughout that day they'll probably be navigating a lot of feelings and whatnot. So we have those workshops, and then performance workshops for students who are amazing writers but aren't really confident about sharing their work. So it's definitely a diverse conference that allows room, for just building or cultivating these young people as they venture through school and this writing experience. Right Track Poetry doesn't really apply to Broward County, but it is a competition in conjunction with Miami Homestead Speedway that allows, again, middle schoolers to write a poem and then share the poem, and then the winner gets to be driven to school in a race car, gets tickets to the race, and then have their poem played at the race. So we do have these partnerships that we have with organizations. The moment your students are more engaged and kind of we get a feel for who's where and located where, if we continue to have partnerships and opportunities for students to perform, we definitely reach out to sponsors and those students. The lab is a summer writing workshop that has actually started. The first day was Wednesday. It is from 12 to 1 on IG Live at the moment. Generally, it would be in person, but we know with everything that's happened, that's not the best choice for us at the moment. So once we're able to be back in person, we try to do it on a higher learning campus. So it'll be a Broward or a Nova, something that most of our students can get access to. But right now it is on IG Live. At one point it was at our creative space in Weston, which was Studio Blue. And that's what's on here, which would have been where we'd want to have it at the moment. But again, it features guest teaching artists each week and focused on a variety of topics from writing techniques to stage performance. My favorite workshop that we had was we had a graffiti artist come in and he kind of let the students spray paint and whatnot, and then they were able to write poetry based off of what they were feeling after spray painting and talking and all of that. So it's been really dope. The lab, again, once I put the information at the end, you can reach out to us and get more information on that. And this is the information at the end. This is our email, our phone number, and our social media. I'm going to leave that up for a few seconds to collect that information. If you want to reach out to us, if you want to write it down, take a picture. And I don't know why I just did that. Okay. Cool. So we're good on that. I'll stop sharing. Okay. So let me get one word right now. It doesn't even have to be how you're feeling. A word that you heard today that you really like, a word, something that you're looking forward to. Let me just get one word in the chat so that I know everybody's tapped in with me. Hello. Oh, okay. For the culture. Okay. Period. Can I get one word from everybody or some people? Just so I know. Okay. Emancipated, creative. Okay, cool. Empowered. Awesome. Awesome. Empathy. Yes. 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 All right. So today's workshop is called Little Fires Everywhere. With that being said, the inspiration for the workshop is just I'm Haitian, and I was having a conversation with my best friend who is African American and talked about how our upbringing varied in these like nuanced ways because of what we were taught in regards to our history. And I take extreme pride in knowing that we gained and knowing that we gained our independence, right, in the way that we did. And that's always been something that's been taught to me in my home. With that being said, I also I don't always feel as though a revolution has to be as big and as grand a gesture as that, right? I think there are small things and more nuanced experiences that we have in our lives that are a form of revolution, or are little fires everywhere, right? Think that then snowball and become these bigger things that continue to grow with us and be with us as we journey on throughout our lives. A very small example I used was the tsujumu that we drink January 1st, to celebrate that independence. The story that was told to me, I'm sure that there are many different stories, but the story that was told to me was that the rich drank the soup, right? And that was their thing. And once we gained, the rich drank the soup, but you know the help made the soup, right? So I'm cooking something that I don't always have access to, or it's a status thing, right? And then once we gained our independence, it became like everybody drinks soup, right? Because everybody is worthy of the soup. And it now is this is part of celebrating our independence. That is the story that I was told. If you were told something different, you can definitely share. I won't stop anybody. With that being said, I'm sure the woman who made the soup just made the soup, right? Or the man who made the soup just made the soup. But now this is a thing that is now shared across the entire culture. So today's writing workshop will be you finding your revolution. What is the little thing in your everyday life or in your family? And I say little because, in comparison to what's going on, but it could be big to you, that is your form of a revolution. So please feel free to cam up, talk back. I am seeing the chat. Thank you so much. If you don't want to talk, cam up so I can see that some, other people are in here with me. But if not, I'll just keep talking. So we're going to write a poem. This is going to be a condensed version of how our teaching artists would go into a space and do a workshop. I would generally share a poem. For the sake of time, we won't share a poem. We'll listen to each other's poems at the end. But right now, I'll walk you through the process of how we would get the students to write a poem. So if you are using pen and paper or pencil and paper, that's fine. If you're typing, that's fine. I'm going to ask a few questions. You'll answer those questions. And then after I finish asking the questions, I'll put the poem requirements in the chat and the writing prompt in the chat, give you a few minutes to write, and then we'll share out. Cool. If y'all could send reactions, unmute, or send something in the chat just so I know we're all on the same page. Cool beans. Awesome sauce. All right. The first question that I have right now is, what reminds you of home? When you think of home, what comes to mind? Is it a food, a feeling? List those things or that thing that reminds you of home. What are a few things or what reminds you of home, right? List as many as you can. List as many as you can. Rice and beans, absolutely. Music, for sure. What kind of music, Richard? My sister, that's dope. Family. Conk, okay. Cool, cool, cool. Thank y'all for sharing in the chat. I know that y'all are tapped in. Also, make sure that you're writing it down or putting it wherever so that you can have this information when it comes time to write your poem. D. John John. Okay. Clemas, okay. Serenity. Family meals. Awesome. So the next question is, you're in a situation of crisis, right? So you're either stranded on an island or it's post-apocalyptic. The world has ended. There is no trace of the humanity before. What do you bring with you, or what do you hold on to in order to honor the legacy of your heritage or your culture? It doesn't necessarily have to be tangible. It can be if you want it to be, but what do you hold on to? Okay, there are pictures. Is it lessons? Is it songs? Okay, we have flags. Okay. What are some things we hold on to? Photos, songs, language is a big one. Memories, big one. My favorite part about being a poet is being able to honor the fact that, like, we're the storytellers, right? Back then we would have been the griots of the culture, like the people who told the stories and carried things on, and used our language to honor that. So my pictures, traditions, family gatherings, right? So you would try to recreate traditions and whatnot. Okay, awesome, awesome. So make sure, again, y'all are, thank you for putting in the chat, but also make sure you're putting it on your paper, or in your notes to keep. The next thing is, when you think of your culture and your heritage, what are some moral and character traits that, or it doesn't even have to be as deep as moral and character traits, like habits, right? Just things that you inherently keep with you no matter what space you're in. Honesty, modesty, I don't know. Like, I know I'm not supposed to point at anybody. I'm not, those things, the non-tangibles, if that's the word, intangibles, intangible. Talk doesn't cook rice. Integrity, right, right. These things. Make a list of those things, being authentic and real. Always say please and thank you. Respect your elders. Okay. Yeah, that's dope. Be nice, have manners. Okay. Yeah. If you were to pass away, or when you're no longer here with us, what do you want people to remember about you? That's the next question. What do you want people to remember about you? What is your legacy? that I cared, my loyalty. Kindness, fairness, sharing knowledge and resources. My passion for life and dedication to my family. Cool, cool. So the last question that I have right now is, it can be one, it can be many, but biggest fear or fears. Biggest fear or fears could be spiders, right? It could be dying alone. Could be okay, we have fear of the unknown. What are our biggest fears? Um Snakes. Denise, that's metaphorical or physical? Roaches, not being able to provide for my family and friends. Awesome. Both. Okay. Not living up to my fullest potential. That is definitely a fear of mine. Um, Agreed. So with that being said, that's your information, right? When we think about, in my opinion, a revolution and how we start our little fires everywhere. Who am I and what is my mission? Then I rechannel that energy to start a revolution, or to do my part in changing the world. You have to know yourself and you have to know what you're out to do, um, or what your mission is, your end game is. So the requirements for the poem, I'm going to put in the chat, are very vague, right? I just kind of want to keep us on the track of poetry. So I put something very simple that you have to make sure is in your poem. 3 metaphors, 3 similes, and sensory language. What do things feel like, smell like, taste like, sound like, etc.? And then your prompt is going to be, what is your revolution? Look back on your life, look back on what you know, look back on what you want to do, um, as a human being, as an educator, as a sibling, a parent. What is your revolution? What is your part in changing the world around you? What are you going to do about it? Right? That's the ultimate question. What are you going to do about it? So the requirements are there, the prompt is there. I'm going to give you all about 10 minutes to write, and then we'll share with each other. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, unmute or jump in the chat. I'm definitely open to conversation throughout that time. I just want to give you time to write so that we can share our poems at the end. Cool? If I can get some reactions, that'd be awesome. Um, awesome, awesome, awesome. You have 3 minutes left to write, edit, reread, all that jazz. 3 minutes. All right, cool. So if you are needing to wrap it up, we have a volunteer to go first. So I'm going to have him go first. And I'm not going to tell you to stop writing now. So you got an extra, minute. But we're about to start sharing out our poems. First up to the virtual mic, we have Annette or Annette who's going to share. Yes, no, maybe so. Did I lose you? Annette.
Oh, you couldn't hear me. Okay. I'm back.
Okay.
Make my hair pretty. Okay, so I'm not sure I went the right direction. I hope I went the right direction, but I'm gonna read it to you. It's about, I guess, my childhood as a Haitian American. No, excuse me, as a Bahamian American, a Bahamian Haitian American. So
Okay.
I'm gonna call it Lumbee.
Okay.
Lumbee, conch. Conch is like Grand Bahama Freeport. Conch is tasting the coming freedom. Conch grilled like our skin on the boats. Conch fried like the bare feet of in the fields. Conch stewed like the mixture of Bahamian and Haitian culture, and Americans too. After all, we are one now. hear me? Beth? Could you hear me? Did you hear me? After, I don't hear you. You're muted.
I heard you. Loved it.
You hear me now?
Yes, I hear you now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did it like in a whim because
Yeah,
I'm from the
something happened where
Bahamas.
it went out on me. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me reconnect.
Tiffany, you're still showing you're good, but I do see that your signal is going up and down.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened on me. All right, Annette, I'm so sorry. After Lumbee, it went out on me.
Oh,
So,
I tried.
no, give me. Can I get
Did
Lumbee
anyone
again,
else hear it?
please?
Did anyone else hear it? No?
No, they probably heard it. It definitely was my computer. It wasn't you. It was
Yeah,
my
I
computer.
heard it.
Yes, we heard you, Bahamian cunt girl.
Loved the metaphors. They were brilliant.
Oh,
Well,
I was
Annette, just
trying.
send it to me. I'm gonna put it.
Well, maybe there were similes.
Annette, I'm gonna send you my number. Just send it to me so I can read it. Because it was definitely me. Boom.
Okay, I'll email it to you because I know the others and you want to go.
Okay, yeah, because I think something's happening with my computer, honestly. Sorry about that. Anybody else want to share? Adrian, I know you listening. You wrote.
Hey, yes, I wrote something. How you doing, poet? You
Share.
left me to share, see it. So I want to tell me what the prompt was. I know I wrote to the prompt. I just want to make sure.
What is your revolution?
Okay, all right. Okay, here we go. I walk around with a chip on my shoulder from this salt and vinegar world that makes me smack my tongue across the roof of my mouth. It's the taste of disgust when I hear the way my people are discussed, as if my blackness makes you cuss and cut my identity to 3/5 of what it's worth. Watch your words. I walk around with a chip on my shoulder. I raise my eyebrows like a black fist to investigate what you insist to be the truth. I treat information like a baby diaper because lies run loose in white supremacy. I can taste the air. I can hear the loud thoughts of you feeling like I don't belong. I let my existence be revolutionary. I stomp out little liars and just be present, like I showed up for class with pen and paper ready to take notes of the game you're playing. I stay in tune to how you use us as instruments, but don't like the songs we write about you. Just being here is revolutionary. Knowing you feel some kind of way makes me feel better in my solidarity. I am revolutionary. I let the flicker in my eyes give you a glimpse of the flame that's been burning longer than the miles of every Olympic game. I let my existence and my presence be a revolution.
I know that's right. Fania said, "Oh my." In the chat. I know that's right. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
You got some snaps. Annette, I don't know if you're seeing my messages. I definitely want to hear the poem or read the poem. So if you could text it to me or email it to me, I definitely want that poem. But thank you so much, Adrian, for sharing. I already knew you were a stepper, so I'm not shocked. Definitely happy that you shared. Does anybody else want to share or wrote something that they want everybody to hear?
I can share.
Okay.
This came from, my students will often sit on the carpet and sort of say to each other as, say, Mrs. Dominguez isn't white. She's not white. And they'll get into it with each other. And they'll be really upset when one kid says, no, she's white. No, she's not white. Because for them, it's just very negative. So that was the title of mine was, Am I White? My students say, Mrs. Dominguez isn't white. Their families say, Qui sa blondie? My heritage is Russian Jewish, like Kasha Vanishka's. Mon parle creole, yo hablo español, je parle français, all with an accent, like a native English speaker. Sadly, I cannot speak my own heritage language. I'm the leche to my husband's cafe. Together we are café con leche. My son is mixed. We hold each other up. Mais non pire chez Palou.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I want to use my words correctly. The like knowing that you can still acknowledge what you are and who you are, but knowing that the negative connotation that they have is kind of being undone in your ability to just be present in a space and just be yourself without having to get into that. Is really dope. And I captured that in the poem, right? When you say like, this is who I am, but these are all the things that I embody. And being able to acknowledge that your students are kind of grappling with both sides of that. That's dope. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do it.
Floor is open. We got more poems. Nope.
Hi. Yeah, one
Hi.
more.
Okay.
Oh, I am petite. I'm 5 feet. And I actually went skydiving when I was 21-ish. And the reason I did it is because I told myself if I could put myself in this very scary situation and overcome it, then I could do anything, right? So this is my poem about that. All 5 feet of me, thinking about my destiny, thinking about the monsters I would have to slay, wanting to be brave, let myself know I could be safe, let myself know that I could depend on me. Looking down at where I reside, pastures and farms passing by, clouds at eye level looking back at me, then one small step has me flying through the air, thinking, what's this helmet doing to my hair? And that's it.
No, valid.
I love
Valid. Thank you so much for sharing. Annette says they love it. I'm sorry I cut you off. The revolution is in your bravery. Thank you for sharing. Richard, you said you wanted to give it a go.
Sure, thank you. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I also said I'm not sure if I hit all the criteria, so we'll see. Sitting on the couch thinking how exactly to answer this question that was posed to me. Inspired by the history of the Haitian Revolution, the solution to this question lies in the history that was not told to me. Like the Haitian sage led by Louverture, this won't be easy. Searching for clues in my history book like Dora, Swiper and the former state legislators keep hiding it from me. They want to feed me artificial foolishness, claiming it's real. Why is the truth so hard to swallow? Choking on the truth, will they accept the Heimlich maneuver from me? My revolution is that my children will know what I didn't know, because I broke the cycle, researched, and learned my own history. That's it.
That's fire. The revolution is in knowledge. Obtaining knowledge, sharing knowledge. Dopeness, dopeness, dopeness. You're getting some reactions from Charlene and E. Joseph right now. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. That was amazing. I squeeze in room for one more if we want to. But if not, I will reshare my contact information. Give me 1 second. Again, our email is blueapple@jasontaylorfoundation.com. Our phone number is there. The website is there. And the social media handles are there. And then my email would be epiphany@jasontaylorfoundation.com. With that being said, that was a condensed experience of how the workshop would work. Of course, we would flesh it out with the students. We would kind of push them to write more, and then also share content with them so we kind of know what we're looking for. Because I had to share the PowerPoint on the front end, I didn't get a chance to do that with you all, but this is what we would do with your students and kind of have them explore their narratives, share their stories. Our main belief with the foundation and the org and what we share with the students is if you don't tell your story, somebody else will. And so wanting to provide them with not only the tools, but the platform to do so and making sure that they're heard by those of us who are able to affect change, which is the teaching artists, the educators, the stakeholders in the community. So it's been a pleasure to talk to you all and be in this space with you all. I hope you all enjoyed this session. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'll be on for a minute afterwards, or you can reach out using the contact information that I gave. Otherwise, have a good day. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, I have a question. So you all present for the kids and then or we facilitate that?
You would facilitate that. If you are an educator in Broward County, we would assign you a teaching artist that would come in weekly and go through workshops with your students.
Okay, so we can ask for the help of Jason Taylor Foundation, so we contact you?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, everybody, and you're absolutely welcome as well.
Thank you. All right. So I'll see you on the scene.
See you on the scene.
And hopefully in my classroom, I'm going to reach out to you about that.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right.
Epiphany, I don't know if you shared earlier, but I thought I took detailed notes. Do you have an email or anything that we can reach you directly at if we have questions?
For me directly, it's going to be epiphany@JasonTaylorFoundation.com. I'm putting in the chat just so you get your visuals on it.
But I don't think I wrote it down quick enough for something. I'm kind of
yeah, Epiphany, or the general email for the program, because it's going to come to me regardless. It's Blue Apple, which is BLUAPPLE. There's no E in the blue. So blueapple@JasonTaylorFoundation.com.
Oh, that's what I wrote down. Okay.
Yeah.
But it all comes to you no matter what, right?
Yeah, because I'm the program coordinator. So.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good one.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Thank you for attending. You're welcome. I don't remember the name of my tech person. Miss Lady, am I good to go? Or is there somewhere else I'm supposed to go
You're
after
good.
this?
If nobody else has any questions, then we can go ahead and shut this down because everybody has to log back into the general session through another one. So
Okay.
you are good.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you for being a part. I know you snuck in and out, but thank you for being a part, and thank you for helping.
No problem. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Friday and have a good weekend.
You too. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.